What are y'all thoughts about happy wife, happy life?
I think men are doing way more than they ever have to maintain a relationship and to consider women.
I think there's no one person upon whom the entire joy of the house should rest.
I really want folks to stop blaming women for every goddamn thing. Happy life, happy wife. That was a woman who made that. No, we didn't.
Is his happiness being considered? So that's where the happy house, happy spouse comes in.
If the happy spouse only equals the happy house, maybe I want the life part more than the house.
I do believe we should pour into each other.
So we talk about happy wife, happy life. Now, the way it's supposed is that a man as a husband who typically might say these things that he considers his wife, because he recognizes, if you believe in this phrase, that, hey, if she's happy, life is going to be happy, which would mean that he would have to consider her, right? Because he would need to know what's going to make her happy, unless he just thinks provision and protection is it, right? So what do y'all think about this phrase? Because recently it's coming to fire, right? Many of us a little bit older grew up with it. Now it's happy spouse, happy house, right? And you mentioned red pill, but the red pill, the manosphere is like, man, fuck this happy wife shit. It's a subjugation of men to become, slaves and, so she can leave me after she cheats on me and takes half of everything. This happy wife, happy life thing is a problem. So what are y'all thoughts about that? How do y'all feel? Y'all cool with the phrase? Y'all prefer the other one? Do y'all see why people have a problem with it? What are y'all thoughts about happy wife, happy life?
I think modern day men now guys now they in it for the reciprocity. They don't want to sit here and just have her be happy or just pour into her and not get any pouring back into themselves. Like, listen, I want reciprocity. They took the ladies serious. Like, I want to be partners. I want us to be partners. Okay, well, if we're going to be partners, then we're going to pour into each other. I'm going to be happy too, or we're going to cater to each other's happiness. I can't really think of the last time when people ask, guy, are you happy? Ladies, are you asking your man, hey man, are you happy? Do you need a sandwich? Do you need some head? You good? What does that look like? Is the man's mental health, you're talking about him being emotionally intelligent, emotionally available, that's taxing. Is he good with that extra labor? S&M earlier, you talked about, the way men used to be, what men used to do. I don't think when we look at our fathers and grandfathers, we would consider them being emotionally intelligent, or if your grandmother would categorize your grandfather as emotionally available. So those are extra things men are doing now. I think men are doing way more than they ever have, to maintain a relationship and to consider women. Because I think women they have a lot more freedom and a lot more say-so and a lot more voice in relationships. And I don't think men are getting enough, credit for that and the emotional labor that they're doing. So is his happiness being considered? So that's where the happy house, happy spouse comes in. That's where the men are coming from. Well, ladies, you wanted it to be egalitarian and what's the word now? Not sympathy, empathy, equity. So this is what that looks like. So men want their feelings and their emotional health taken into consideration too. And I think that's what they're saying.
I think there was a time when it was happy wife, happy life. I think not because the wife has more value in the relationship or in the home than the husband, but because initially, for a long time in culture, the wife she would stay at home. She was the child raiser, as S&M pointed out. She was the nurturer, as S&M pointed out. And the nurturer in the house sets the energy, right? Because when everybody's having a bad day or when they're feeling down, they're going to that source of nourishment, emotional nourishment, that boost, right? And if it's not there, because it's not happy, right? Because it's not on the vibe, then the whole tenor of the house does go down. The whole house does feel it. And because that was the role of that person. They were the stabilizer, right? Now, but take a marriage where the wife's out of the home and the father's raising the kids. Well, then happy wife, happy life doesn't really apply then as much, does it? It's really about the emotional stability and the positioning of the person who is there to be the nourisher, to be the provider, to give that sort of harmonizing equilibrium to the space, right? And when both are there, then I think what Nick said is right. It's happy spouse, happy house. I think there's no one person upon whom the entire joy of the house should rest. Because everybody in the house has value, man. But I will say this, whoever in the house everybody looks to make them feel better, you better make that person good. Otherwise, when you're down, they won't be there. So whoever that person is in the house, that's where I would say. I think that men are speaking up more because men are playing different roles now. As I was pointing out, as I was alluding to before, we are playing different roles. And so we are saying, look, my happiness is important because, like, as Delvin was saying, I am doing more. I'm not just bringing in the paycheck, right? I'm having these emotional talks like, you know what I'm saying? I can't name all the black fathers on TV because they've been vilified. Okay, but you get the idea. Okay, you get the idea. So it's happy spouse, happy house, man. Just share the love. You're all valuable. You're all important. Women, y'all stop being selfish, man. Stop. We love you all. You don't have to carve out a space and make a bunch of rules for us to love y'all. When a man loves you, he gonna be soft to you off GP because he can't even help it. He gonna be soft to you when he doesn't want to be. He's gonna try to make you happy even when it's making him mad. Okay? So we don't need a rule for that. What we do need is a rule that says reciprocity. I make you happy. Pass some of that back. Okay? It's supposed to be an engine. It's supposed to be a system that refuels, right? It's kind of stuck on y'all's side. And that's what the conversation is really about, right? Let some of the blessings come back. Go ahead. What y'all got to say?
Yeah. So first of all, I just want to point out that women didn't start this goddamn phrase. So for y'all to put the blame, particularly Jay, on the
Are you
women
sure?
saying, no, we did not start this phrase. As a matter of fact, it's because historically men held the power and the women were the ones who set the climate in the household because that's what their responsibilities were as the nurturer. So you were correct in regards to that because when women are neglected, then the entire household, of course, feels it because she's neglected. And so that's where it is. But I really want folks to stop blaming women for every goddamn thing. Happy life, happy wife, happy wife, happy life. That was a woman who made that. No, we didn't. And as a matter of fact, the reason why it came about also was because men were told they had to be silent. Men were told they had to be stoic. Men were told they had to suck it up because those were the roles that y'all was assigned in this whole traditional gender type stuff. And so with that being said, if you were silent and you weren't voicing how you felt, that also contributed to why the woman emotions controlled the house as well. Because men were not voicing it because they just basically had to stifle their unhappiness, which is a problem, which is why I do support happy spouse, happy house. Because I do believe we should pour into each other. I do believe that it's a two-way street because if my husband's not happy, then the house actually does suffer because he does speak on his unhappiness. Just like if I'm not happy, then the house will suffer because I will speak on this happiness. But one thing I also would like to point out is that to me, happy is a temporary state. So when we talk about happiness, that's a temporary state and a temporary like, oh, ha moment. And so happy spouse, happy house has to go past just that happy part because there's also contentment. Are you content in the household? Is everything working accordingly because you're balanced and you're pouring in each other? Are you being each other peace? You know, are we considering each other's feelings? Are we being considerate? Are we collaborating? Are we cooperating with each other? That's what all goes in there. So to me, even happy spouse, while I agree with a happy house, is temporary because we should be striving for contentment. We should be striving for peace. And so I just want to acknowledge, though, that women didn't make this shit up. That was something that men said, that men can be. And we, of course, co-signed. We were like, yeah, you're right. Yes, yes. Let's get this happy wife, happy life. But we also recognize if we're going to ask you guys to be emotionally intelligent and we're asking you to bring other aspects into the household, then we also have to reflect that change as well and pour back into it. We can't just ask you guys to say and change and we don't do anything. There needs to be an adjustment as well. So yeah, happy house, happy spouse. I don't believe with happy wife, happy life, but I understand where it came from and I understood why it was rooted in the wife happiness because she did at that time control the climate in the household.
So I'm so glad that you guys went first on this one because y'all took this seriously, right? And it really sets the table for me because I'm going to be very unserious, but serious at the same time, right? Because it's very rare you get one of these type of semantic-y conversations, at least for me, right? Where I get a chance to expose the semantic nature of a thing, right? So that's fun for me. But it's 4 words, right? So it's happy wife, happy life. There's no ellipses afterwards, Is it a full sentence? Like it's 4 words, right? And then yo, this is crazy. You gotta be happy spouse, happy house. And I get it because you want it to rhyme, but is your life bigger than a house? I would think so, right? Because I have a house and a mortgage, right? But my life is far bigger. So if we're gonna play the semantic game and say, oh, happy spouse, happy house, well, if the happy spouse only equals the happy house, and there's a much bigger life out there, maybe I want the life part more than the house part. Right? Right? 'Cause you see how we're playing these games, right? As it never even went deep. Right? The word happy, right? Okay. So so that's what this is, right? It's semantic because let me tell you why I'm okay with happy wife, happy life. Right? Because, like, let's say, for example, I tend to tilt towards the traditional side, right? In terms of traditional roles, for example, right? So, for example, my wife is going to spend more time with the kid. You know what I'm saying? A little bit more than me. The nurturing season is upon us, and so she's doing her thing. So she may have more time with him in that regard, right? Just, I'm cool with that. So if I know she's pouring into him and holding things down, then yeah, I want to invest in my star. You know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that my star is happy. Like most NBA players, when they have star players, what you want? You would ride the jet? What you need? Anything you need, I got you. You know why? Because they understand that when they're happy, they perform at a better level. And maybe if you replace happy with content, high job satisfaction, whatever you want to call it, right? Am I going to elicit a better performance? This person who is the engine of my existence, right? Who allows me to go outside, for real, for me specifically, right? To go outside, to go abroad, try to conquer my dreams and plans, right? And that's the engine. So I'm going to make sure that she's good. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? She makes sure that I'm good. I recognize that by me making sure she's good, she automatically, it's magical how it works out, right? Like I pour into her, she pours into me. Now, if I have to say, well, happy, who cares? You know what I'm saying? Like, if I'm the leader, if I'm the one who asked her to marry me, if I'm the one who proposed this coming together in this union, okay, cool. Part of leadership is encouraging your people, making sure that the environment is fire. You know what I mean? That they want to show up to work every day. I feel like as guys, sometimes we forget that. And then we expect women and people to show up a certain type of way. No, not with them specifically, right? It's not like we don't know how they work. You know what I'm saying? And it's not like it take a lot after, you know what I'm saying? A compliment here, a dinner here, a date there, just being thoughtful. You know what I'm saying? So I hear y'all because I feel like dudes are making the larger point. And for the larger point, I agree, because we talked about how women are not being taught how to treat a man and all this other kind of stuff. So I do get the larger conversation. I just think if you're a dude who feels like you're him a little bit, and you have good discernment, and you have, a vision for your life, and you have, maybe traditional leanings, then I think it's still this phrase still applies, right? It still applies. You know what I mean? Like, and lastly, as a servant leader, right? Like, and I mean dead ass. People who do enjoy service. There's some people out here who do enjoy serving people. Now, everybody ain't finna get the service, let's be clear, right? But the people that I chose to marry, to build with, to be friends with, to be family with, right? Like, I don't mind looking out for my people, taking care of my people, and all that kind of stuff. So if you have a servant's heart, this question is like, okay. Because you want people to be good, right? Like, you want everybody to be straight. So it's just like, all right, what would I have to do to change it up? Now, would I settle for anything less than consideration? Absolutely not. Well, then maybe she wouldn't be my wife in the first place. Woo, that's a novel idea, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's a novel idea. You know what I mean? I just happen to pick a wife who energizes my life. And so it kind of makes sense for me, to happy wife, happy life in. Okay? It's not that big of a fucking deal. Because for even some of y'all who might be like, happy spouse, happy, I don't think y'all are happy as we are over here in terms of our dynamic. I just don't. I'd be willing to put money on it. You know what I'm saying? Low key, we broke traditional too. Go figure. You know what I mean? But I hear y'all. It is important for men to speak up. That's what's happening, y'all. Men are speaking up. We're saying we want more. Well, they're saying they want more. Well, you know what? I can use some more consideration too, fuck it. But we're saying we want more consideration. Right? At the end of the day. So regardless of what you call it, it's about how you show up. that makes the difference at the end of the day. I don't give a fuck what you call it. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you gotta play the mind games. You ever notice like dudes like, yo, man, I'll keep my coverage. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just certain things that make sense to do because it don't cost you nothing and you can really gain a lot. But go ahead.
We just couldn't find anything that rhymes with husband or man. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think that was a
I,
vocabulary
th- I
failure.
think it's a
No, I
vocabulary
was
fail.
dead
It's a
ass.
language
No.
breakdown. That's all.
No, dead ass on happy spouse, happy house. I was not looking for happy husband and then whatever rhyme with that. Spouse.
Yeah,
We
there
gotta
wasn't a
find
lot of
something to
words
rhyme
to
with
rap.
husband.
Not a lot of words to rhyme. That's the only reason you got it. Go ahead though.
It worked though. I mean, for the most part, happy spouse,
It's
okay.
all right.
Good for y'all.
It's all right.
It was
It's
probably
all
the
right.
only one that was gonna work.
Yeah, it
Before we
was.
go, any other suggestions? Happy. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
We're just gonna have to take
Happy
that. Nothing
pain,
rhymes with
happy
husband.
thing. Okay, I'll keep working. Okay,
happy
What
man,
the-
happy plan.
What?
Yeah, happy man, happy.
That's
Happy
good.
man, happy plan.
man, working plan. You know what I'm saying? Well, yeah, that could work.
They work in a plan if they want you as a happy man, but then you get upset when they work in that plan because it may not be the plan that you wanted to work.
Is that her
How
name?
about silent girl, happy world? I'm just playing.
Oh, I like that.
How about,
Silent wife,
uh,
happy life.
I was going to say, how about silence is golden, but duct tape is silver?
Ooh,
How about wife
No, I'm
on her
just kidding.
knees?
Let me
Yes,
stop.
ma'am, please.
Disclaimer.
Yeah, like that one? No.
I like
since we're
that.
What was
rhyming.
that?
Wife
Happy
on your knees, yes, ma'am, please. Yes, ma'am.
That's the next T-shirt.
Wife on your knees. Wife on your knees. No, I saw a video where a lady was like 4 ways for your man to show up, and one of them was like on her knees. I was like,
Mhm.
that's a problem solver right there.